Hello, welcome to Where's Wilmington? I'm Lisa Capala. In today's show, we're going to be talking about history and tradition, two things Wilmington has plenty of. And part of our history and tradition, we're going to be talking to Collette Carbone, who's here, and she's going to tell us about the Sunnyside Cafe. So thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for asking.
Tell me a little bit about the Sunnyside Cafe. I'm sure if you live in Wilmington, folks, you know where it is. But tell me a little bit about what you folks do there.
The Sunnyside Cafe was originally Winston's, from what I've heard. It's been there for a long time, where a lot of children, which are now adults, used to go there with their parents. It's a small place, still has a diner effect to it, and counter, just very family.
So kind of the old-fashioned service that we think of maybe in the 50s,
yes,
you know, like that.
Goes right in the open. Yeah.
That's amazing. I guess there are few diners really left in Massachusetts and in the country, so this is a really nice thing to have in our community.
Yes, it is.
Tell me a little bit about why you became a restaurateur. I know it's a very, very hard job. I don't know that people realize how tough it is. You've got to be up with the birds and doing all these things. So tell us a little bit about why you decided to open a business.
Well, I've always been in the restaurant business since I was 17, and this is my first business that I've owned, and it's just the convenience being right up the street and the people. I enjoy
really
the people,
like the people.
The family. Usually we worry if they don't show up, or they just feel like family when they come in. And I open at 2 a.m. during major snowstorms for the town plow guys and the plow guys in the vicinity, and it's just feels like home.
Really? Tell me, where is the Sunnyside Cafe located if folks want to try it out after they see some of the great things that you do there?
It's at 2 Jefferson Road, which is right at the North Wilmington train station, across the street from Eli's Country Store.
Excellent. Now, what does an average day look like for you? What time do you get up, and then what happens from there?
Oh, usually I get up about 4 in the morning. I open at 5:30 Monday through Friday, 6:30 on the weekends. And I close at 1:30 during the week and noon on the weekends, just breakfast only on the weekends. So just go in, get everything ready, and usually the regulars at certain times, they're right there, 6 o'clock, there's certain people, 9 o'clock.
And they all have their standard seats where they sit. This chair belongs to this one and that chair. Now I understand also that you don't just feed folks. You have a gentleman that you feed his dog too, is that right?
Yes, on the weekends. It's his dog Shelby, who gets sausage patties with scrambled egg, and every Saturday and Sunday, that's the first thing I cook.
That's excellent. That's excellent. How do you decide what's going to be on the menu as a restaurateur? I mean, obviously you're going to have scrambled eggs, you're going to have home fries, you're going to have bacon. I'm making myself hungry. But how do you know what kinds of things to put on the menu?
It's basically the basics, the omelets and specials, Texas French toast and Hungry Jacks. And then for lunchtime, we'll have a special, a hot special. And in the wintertime, we'll have the soups and chowders. Typically like the old-fashioned diner.
Excellent. So the place kind of feels like home, as you said.
Yes.
And it must be pretty loud in there, I would imagine.
It can be.
With all the family and the friends, and then you've got the snowplow people.
Right. And then I've watched little children from infants growing up.
Amazing, amazing. What do you really love about what you do, other than the people? Do you really actually like the whole getting up and cooking process?
Yes, you have to love it to really enjoy it. Doing the 7 days.
Right.
And it's fun.
Do you cook at home?
No.
Excellent. That's good.
No, I don't.
If that's your full-time gig, I don't blame you.
No.
What about the style of the diner itself? I know you said you have beautiful counter service and booths where folks can sit. Have you ever thought about changing it at all?
No, not at all.
Not making it more modern. You really like the traditional flavor.
Right, the traditional, where, like I said, the grill's right on the counter and you can see everything being prepared right in front of you.
Which is really nice. Because
yes,
sometimes, not to insult other places where we go to eat, but sometimes you do want to see what's going on, and I suppose you put love into everything you make too, so we can certainly see that too. Tell me a little about your staff. Have they been with you a long time?
A couple years or so. I have a wonderful staff.
And you couldn't do it without them?
No, God no, God no. And they're very nice with the customers, and just, you know, really, I'm very fortunate.
What would you tell somebody who is thinking about maybe opening a cafe or a restaurant business that you've learned that you didn't know before? And how long have you been doing this now?
I've owned it 7 years now.
Wow. Okay, so when you first started, you've always been in the restaurant business, so I'm sure you knew some of the things you would need to know, but what have you really learned that you'd like to pass on to maybe somebody?
Well, to do a business like this, you have to that's your life. You have to prepare to be there all the time.
Right.
All the time. Because when I first bought this business, I waitressed there first for a year, and then he offered for me to buy it.
Wow.
And I figured, why not?
That's a pretty big leap for you to do that.
It was scary, but
Yes.
7 years later, it's doing very well.
Excellent. Do you find also that there's a shift in how many customers you see because of the economy, or do you find that because breakfast is usually pretty reasonably priced, your clientele is still kind of the same?
Basically the same, a lot of new faces.
Good.
You know, a lot of people don't even know I'm there.
Well, we're going to fix that right now.
Because I'm tucked away, and a lot of people will come up and say, oh, I've lived in Wilmington a long time, didn't even realize you were there.
Right.
So hopefully people will know now.
Right. Now, do you do any outside advertising or anything like that, or is it basically word of mouth?
Basically word of mouth right now. I do occasional outside advertising, especially to the schools, on the athletic books, or the Kiwanis 4th of July activities and stuff like that.
And how important do you feel it is to your customers that you keep everything the same? I know myself, when I go to somewhere that I love, I like it to stay exactly the same. Do you feel your customers have a sense of that? Do they notice if you change things? They get upset if something's missing from the menu? Or do they like it all to be exactly the same? How do they feel about that?
No, they do. They're very picky sometimes.
Yes.
But you try to please them and try to make them happy.
And then you're out at 12 anyway, right? Or 2?
Oh,
What time do
1:30
you
I
close?
close during
So
the
that's
week.
not too bad. You
So
have
it's-
your afternoons
Exactly.
to recuperate from all of
Exactly.
that. What kind of changes are you going to come up with in the future, do you think? Are you going to make the place larger? Are you going to add an afternoon lunch menu? Or do you think you're going to just keep it the way it is for now?
For now, keeping it the way it is.
Excellent. And what do you think about the community itself? Have you always lived in Wilmington?
I've recently moved here 11 years ago.
Oh, excellent. Oh, that's great.
Because I grew up in North Reading, I just wanted to be in the same, small town atmosphere.
Right, right. So the other restaurants you worked in, were they larger, smaller?
Basically the same, but a little bit bigger.
The same.
A
Yeah,
little
because
bit
I know
bigger.
there were some diners in the Lowell area when I was growing up they used to have, but now they seem to have all kind of gone the way of the dinosaur. So you're pretty lucky. You must be doing something right.
Oh,
Those
thank you.
pancakes must be made out of gold. I don't know. Anything else you'd like our viewers to know? I know we've shown a lot of the counter service and so forth in the program today, so people can come down and visit you. But is there anything you'd like them to know about what you do?
Basically, just come and try us.
Right.
Give us a try, and you'll feel at home.
And
very
it's
at
comfortable for
ease.
families, and I assume there's no
Definitely.
smoking in your building or anything like that, which is good, so it's comfortable
No,
for that.
exactly, exactly.
Excellent. And it's breakfast only, pretty
Breakfast
much,
only
right?
on the weekends, and breakfast and lunch during the week.
Oh, what do you have for lunch there?
Oh, like meatloaf dinner or...
So the traditional homespun favorites that
Yes.
everybody wants.
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I also want to thank Tom Pizzera, who shot all the beautiful footage that we've been looking at while we were talking. And I want to thank you, Collette, for coming by to talk to us today. And I'm going to come by Sunday and have breakfast.
Awesome.
I mean
Thank you
it.
so
I'll be
much,
there. So
Lisa.
get my pancakes ready.
I'll get them ready.
Folks, we'll be back with more after this. We're going to talk about more history and tradition in Wilmington. Coming up, we're going to talk about the moving wall that's coming here soon. So stay with us. We'll be right back after this.
Baby Safe Haven Hotline.
I'm 8 months pregnant and my family doesn't know.
All right, take it easy. We're here to help you.
But I'm only 16, I'm not ready to be a parent.
You don't have to be. There's adoption, teen pregnancy programs, and so many other options.
See, we do have options.
But I don't want anybody to know.
Don't worry, everything will be confidential.
I'm glad we called the hotline. If you can't keep your baby, you can keep your baby safe.
Hi, welcome back for the second half of Where's Wilmington. I'm glad you stayed with us. We're talking about tradition and history today, and we are going to talk about a great, hopefully, tradition that we're going to start here in Wilmington with my friends from the Moving Wall. I have with me Lou Somalia and Bob Hogan. All right, nice to meet you guys. Thanks for coming. I know you brought a lot of goodies. We have a lot of stuff to cover. This is the first of 2 shows we're going to do for you folks. This is the first one where we will kind of give you a teaser about the moving wall that's coming, and then we're going to do another full half-an-hour show with these folks when it gets closer to the date. So I'm really excited to have you both here. Tell me, Lou, what your capacity is with the moving wall.
Well, I run the Department of Veteran Services here in Wilmington.
Okay.
And we're running through the chair. I'm also the chairman of the Moving Wall Committee to bring the wall to Wilmington.
Wow. How did all of this happen that the moving wall came to Wilmington?
We've been on the waiting list for 3 years.
Really?
To to bring it around to all the different communities in the country, you have to go on the waiting list, and Wilmington's been on it for 3 years.
Wow. What does it take to get on the list? Do you have to write to Congress? Do you have to call somebody big? How does it work?
No, John Devitt is the Vietnam veteran who designed and built the moving wall in 1984.
Okay.
And since that time, there are 2 of them now that go around the country. And you just apply, you send an application in, and they put you on the list, and you get
And then they call you when they're ready. Okay.
Yes.
What is the moving wall for those who may not know?
Okay, the Vietnam moving wall is a half-size replica of the original wall in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
And it was built by John Devitt, Norris Shears, Gary Haver, and other Vietnam veterans, all volunteers, to build the wall, and they travel all across the whole country.
Now, this is something unique to Vietnam veterans only. I don't know of any other moving wall that exists for World War I, World War II, Korea, any of that stuff. So this is kind of special and unique to the Vietnam veterans only. Bob Hogan, did you want to speak to that?
Yeah, I mean, most communities have statues in their communities, and in Washington, D.C., there are a number of monuments. But the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington was so unique, the Black Wall,
Right.
all 58,000 names. There was no way to reproduce that kind of thing in the communities. So John was from California, and he felt that a lot of people west of the Mississippi may never get a chance to see it.
Right.
So he came up with the idea, and over a period of time, after the 1982 dedication of the wall in Washington, to build a replica, half-size replica, that could travel.
Wow.
And the moving wall isn't by name just because it moves, because it's so emotional.
So it's 2. It means both things. It's portable, but it also moves you when you see it.
Correct.
I wonder how they determined what names would go on it and what wouldn't. Does anybody know? Oh, it's just smaller version is what you're saying. So they didn't leave anybody out. They just made it more compact. That's so good, because I certainly wouldn't want anybody to be left out. And what is your capacity with this organization that's making this happen?
In Burlington, I'm the Director of Veteran Services in Burlington, and we
Okay.
had the moving wall there in 1999.
How'd you get so fast on the list?
Well, there were 3 walls at the time.
All right.
And when we applied, the waiting list was only 2 years.
Okay.
And Lou was aware of that and asked some questions, and we've talked, and Lou just wanted to hear how important it was for the veterans and the families and the visitors who came
Right.
when it was in Burlington at the time. And it's a very important thing.
So before this came to your community, what were your expectations for how it was going to go in Burlington, and then how did it actually go?
Well, our expectations were high because it was in Stoneham a couple of years before that, which is when we applied.
Okay.
And we asked the people in Stoneham, as Lou has done us, their opinions and their ideas.
And
So-
maybe what they had for issues so that you could
Correct.
work the bugs out for
Correct.
yourselves. Okay.
And since it's done in enough communities, why recreate the wheel? Just do what other
Right.
people have done so successfully, and then add your special touch.
Right. Where did you house the moving wall in Burlington when it
It was
came?
on our town common, and it was
Okay.
it was a beautiful site. There was plenty of parking. It was in the center of town. People got to see it traveling through town. It was the perfect site at the right time.
Now, once you've been on the list and then you've had your turn, how long before you can have it back again?
I don't know if anybody ever gets it back again.
So this could be a one-time only event,
Yeah.
which is why we have you here talking about it, because it's so important.
It is.
So you talked to Bob, and Bob gave you some insight as to how would be the best way to kind of go about this project once your name got moved up on the list enough. What challenges have you had to face getting closer and closer to the deadline, so to speak?
Well, the logistics of getting the wall here and set up,
Right.
and the volunteers because it's open 24/7 when it's
Really?
here. Yeah, for visitations.
Wow.
And just the logistics of getting it here, getting set up, and then all the volunteers to guard it.
And it must be pretty heavy, and it must come in panels,
comes in panels.
that you have to assemble.
Correct.
Do they do that, or do you?
We have
you
volunteers
folks do that.
line up to do that as well.
Aha.
And John Devitt actually travels with the wall. He will be here, obviously, showing us how to do it and set it up.
Okay.
And then we have ceremonies that are going to happen every night. September 18th is going to be the opening ceremonies.
That's when it's first going to be here.
That's when it's
We might see you doing some stuff on the 17th, right? But we won't really know what it is until the
It will be
18th.
set up the morning of the 18th.
Okay. And this is rain or shine, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you're going to have it obviously in some kind of protected area, I would imagine,
No,
in case
you
it
don't-
rains or
no,
something.
You don't really put it under a tent.
Really?
No.
Hmm.
If it is real inclement weather, they do suggest you take the panels and put them back in the in the trailer that they're housed in.
Excellent. And how long will the community have this for?
From the 18th to the 22nd, which is Thursday to a Monday.
So that's 5 days?
Yes.
So if we're going to see it, we better get on down there. Where is this going to be?
Right on Wilmington Common.
Oh, beautiful.
Right in the
Right
back
up
of
the
the
street
common.
from us. You could probably wave to it from
And
here.
one of the things that Lou and the committee want to make sure that you help get the word out, don't wait till the last day.
Right.
Because when people come the last day, they say, oh, I should have come sooner so I could have come back.
Right.
Correct.
Why is it important to you, and I'll have you both answer this question, that we get to see the moving wall? I see you're wearing a POWMIA badge there, so I'm sure there must be a very personal reason for you why, and if you wouldn't mind sharing with us what that is, I'd like to
I
know.
don't know anybody on the wall personally. I know a lot of friends of mine that have served with gentlemen that were killed in Vietnam, and their names are on the list. And like the builder, the founder stated in his initial remarks was you have to give other people in other communities, not just Wilmington, the opportunity to come visit
Right.
this very moving
Because
wall.
let's think about it, with families getting larger and the gas going up and the price of living is so tough, some people might not even be able to drive to Washington to see it.
Right.
You may never get the opportunity to do that. Or folks who are disabled or just can't get to it, it's really great to have it here.
Right.
Why, Bob, did you feel it was important for Burlington to do this when you did it?
Well, there was a number of reasons. Unlike Lou, I do have family and friends who are on the wall, but it wasn't just about me. It was about other veterans who needed to have some closure. And there's a
Right.
whole process when the wall comes of people visiting and talking and having closure to their events who don't go to Washington. Many of the visitors do show up at night when there's not a lot of people around, when there are not a lot
That's
of
what I'm
crowds.
thinking would be the best time to go. I'm
Probably.
thinking 1 a.m. might be, seriously, the
Yeah.
best time to be able
And
to
there will be
reflect
people, correct.
and to take a few minutes to really think about what that all means, especially with what's going on in our country right now with the current political conditions that we have, you
And it-
know?
And it becomes a very important event for the whole town because it does bring people together. Our committee was made up of people who didn't know each other when we had our first meeting.
Right.
But 9 months later, once the wall had gone on, a friendship and a relationship had been established with other veterans, other people in the community who weren't veterans, and it was really quite an important event for us, and hopefully the same will happen.
And you
here.
probably didn't anticipate, I mean, you knew you would make friends with people, but you probably didn't anticipate the depth of the connections that you would make, which I'm sure, Lou, you've been experiencing as well.
Correct. We have a committee set up as well, and we've met 3 or 4 times already, and we plan on continuing the meeting. There's a bunch of logistics, like I stated earlier, to get the wall here and set up correctly. And every night there's a ceremony. Opening night, the September 18th, is obviously going to be the big opening ceremonies with the honor guards, and it's going to be geared a lot to the 4 gentlemen that were killed in Vietnam from Wilmington and their families. The second night is going to be all-female night, female honor guards, female speakers.
Excellent.
And the third night is going to be a public service to police and fire and their family members. And then the fourth night will be the closing ceremonies, which will be Sunday evening, even though the wall will be open until 4 o'clock Monday,
Okay.
the 22nd.
What do you need from us as a community? I mean, I can't speak for the whole community, but for me, I'm pretty pleased as punch that you're doing it.
Yeah.
And I'd like to help, and I'm sure there are a lot of folks that would like to help. What can we do, other than to come to the wall, to help you to really make this be what you want it to be?
Okay, well, the logistics, like I keep bringing up, also cost money. And-
Right.
And we are doing some fundraising now
Okay.
to get the wall here. And
Yes, show me what you brought.
as Bob did in Burlington, we had made up some shirts, and these shirts were designed by our graphic arts department at
Let's
the
see if
Wilmington
we
High
can
School.
show that right to the camera there. Excellent. And I see they come nice and big. Do you have
Yes.
all one size?
No, we have all different sizes.
You have all different sizes?
We have all
And
different
the
sizes.
extra large and double X will be the best sellers.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
no kidding. I know,
I
because
think
it's
that's-
cotton
Because
too.
Vietnam veterans have stretched a little bit.
That's it. But
Well, all
these-
that pride, you got to have a lot of room.
These 2
Okay.
designs were designed by the graphic arts department at the Wilmington High School,
Excellent.
and we had a lot of different
Nice
designs.
job on
And
those.
these are what we picked out,
Beautiful.
and the names of the girls. Julie Murphy designed this one, and I should know the name. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Kristen Sullivan
Excellent.
designed this one, and they have our logo on the front. the
Did you have a
Moving On logo.
contest to do
We
that?
did. We
Oh,
did.
that's
We got
really
a
neat.
lot of different
That must have
designs.
been
They did a great
fun to
job.
pick 2 out of
Yeah.
all those that you got.
Yeah.
And they'll be on sale right through the visit, so people can
Right.
actually pick them up.
Excellent.
Correct.
So we can buy them beforehand if we want and wear them to the
Correct.
event. We can
Correct.
pick up a few more while we're there. How much are these going for?
These are $20 a piece,
Okay.
or 2 for $30.
Excellent.
And we also have keychains, which are $10 a piece, with the logo on them.
Okay,
And the POW emblem on the back.
excellent.
And these are $10 as well.
And obviously, all of those proceeds go to helping the
100%,
wall.
yeah.
And also, I would guess those are probably tax deductible,
Yeah,
right?
well, we are not a 501c3 because of just the time. We didn't have
Okay.
time to set up. But Local Heroes is also involved in getting this here. And if somebody wants to make a substantial donation, they can donate it to Local Heroes and earmark it to the
And
moving
we would
wall.
just love that. So if you have
Yes.
any extra cash laying around,
Yes.
you could use it.
Yes.
How much does it cost to do something like this?
Oh, yeah.
A lot?
A lot.
A lot.
Like over 100,000?
15, no.
No, you know, it could be 30, 40, 50,000.
It's a lot for a
depending.
small community, though, you know,
Right.
with all of the other budgetary things we have in our
Right.
towns.
Right.
Okay.
We some of the speakers that we have tentatively right now are going to be flown in from out of town.
Right.
The wall itself, we have to pay for the wall and the landscaping, and so there's a lot of other costs that are
Things that
incurred.
maybe folks don't think about, you
Right,
know?
right.
Right. How did Burlington do with the fundraising? Did you do similar things? You did
Absolutely.
T-shirts
We
and
had
things
the
like
shirts, the
that?
hats. We had a, actually, I'm going to give you a book that we
Oh,
made
great.
up. So
That's
you
great.
can read, so when the hour program comes,
Yes.
you'll know everything
I'm ready
there
to
is
go.
know. Well, we had a 1960s rock and roll dance.
Oh, wow.
We had a ham and bean supper. So we did a few things like that in addition to
Okay.
the shirts. The shirts will be the biggie.
Right.
And there are people in Burlington who still have the shirts, the sweatshirts, the hats that we sold in 1999.
Wow.
And you know, they're good shirts. They'll stand up. And,
Yep.
Yep.
It's the whole point of just knowing that you're part of something bigger than yourself,
Yeah.
even if you never wear the thing. Just
The
knowing
dates-
that you could help out
The
is
dates
great.
are on the shirts, when it will be in
Excellent.
Wilmington, Massachusetts.
September 18th to the 22nd.
Correct.
Do we have a website with information where
We
folks
do.
can go? And what
We
is
do.
that?
TheMovingWallWilmington.com.
Excellent. What will we see when we dial that up?
That's going to have the information, the directions to the wall when it's here, the dates. We will have the ceremonies on there as we start getting closer to them.
Okay.
We have a lot of links to the Moving Wall website, the merchandise that you can purchase, the shirts.
So
just
you
came
can
off
buy
the
that
presses today.
online too?
No.
Not yet.
Not yet,
We're working
no.
on that. We'll
We're
work on
we're
that.
working on that.
All right. What are you going to do in the community to raise funds like Burlington did? Will you be having dinners and dances?
We are planning on a dinner, an appreciation dinner type of thing.
Okay.
For
For your volunteers
for
and
the
so forth?
volunteers. And no, not just that, but just for recognizing all the issues that people have gone through in Vietnam and in
Right.
the wall
Right.
and whatnot, with some speakers and maybe a dance afterwards type of thing.
Okay.
But these shirts just came off the presses today, so they're hot off the
Excellent.
presses.
How is the community responding to this?
Phenomenal.
Tell me how that
It's-
is.
Everybody wants to help. We have to man the wall at minimum of 4 at a time, 24/7.
And these don't have to be military MPs,
No.
just regular folks like you
No.
and me? That would be a
Right.
fabulous thing to be able to say you were
Right.
able to do.
You can sit at the
Imagine that.
information tent, and if somebody comes in with a specific name they're looking for, and we'll have the books and the computers to tell them what panel it's on.
Right.
So they can go and find the name of the individual they're looking
Excellent.
for.
Excellent.
And you will find, because Lou has read the book, and we made this up from all the pictures and stories.
Let's show that to the camera. What have you
I'm
got
sorry,
there,
This is
Bob?
just something that we did after the moving wall left.
Okay.
And what we did is took a chronicle of, from our first meeting to the very end, of the things we did, the people that were there, and we ended up also selling these afterwards and help finish off the fundraising to help pay for some things after the fact. So when you're finished with this, you will be able to sit and have that hour-long
Excellent.
conversation.
I
with-
can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Why did you feel it was important for Burlington to have the moving wall? I know I had asked Lou to speak to that.
Because it's just, it's such a powerful event to have. 1999 was also our bicentennial year in Burlington.
So perfect timing.
Yes. What better way to celebrate the veterans part of any town's history
Right.
than to bring something like this? And a lot of our volunteers were World War II guys, Korean War guys, peacetime veterans. So
Right.
it wasn't just Vietnam veterans who stepped up to assist. All veterans came and helped, as well as their families, and a lot of civilians, people who weren't in the military. But there are a lot of people that need to be on site, and a lot of people, again, not just the visitors, but the workers that said,
Right.
I wish I had volunteered earlier in the week so I could have come back.
Right.
That's a message I always want people to know. Don't wait till the last day,
Right.
because then you'll say, oh, I wanted to go back.
Right, and as we've discussed, we don't know if we could ever get it back again. The list is, who knows how long it is, and who knows how long they'll be offering this opportunity for folks. It could be stopped at any time. So we got to get out there, September 18th to the 22nd.
Right, and
We got to check that website,
Yep.
which is www.movingwallwilmington.
TheMovingWallWilmington.com.
Okay, what else do you need us to do?
If you would like to go on the website and send us an email stating that you're eligible, if you want to volunteer, also there will be, through the town crier, we're going to have information for people that want to volunteer. We're going to have some contacts so people can sign up. And,
Excellent.
And we're going to try and get all of that
Excellent.
filled in before we
Okay.
get
And
too
you're going to
close.
come back and see me again real soon so that we can talk about this in more greater detail. This is just to get everybody's appetite wet so they all want to come out and go. So they can mark their calendars for the 18th to the 22nd. And then after the moving wall has been here, you'll come back and we'll actually go over the whole process.
Right.
What are you personally looking forward to about the moving wall yourself? Why did you really want to take all of your personal free time and devote it to this? I know you said you have friends, but I know that most people, they don't have a lot of free time available, and I think it's pretty admirable of both of you gentlemen, but especially Lou because he's doing it now, that you're really taking your free time to do this. So what really motivated you to do it, other than just that it should be done?
It should be done. It gives many, many people, not just from Wilmington and surrounding communities, the opportunity to see something of this magnitude that they would never have seen before, maybe for whatever reason they've never made it to Washington, and it'll give a lot of Vietnam veterans the ability to come and heal and spend time.
And the recognition that they deserve. There's so much controversy, of course, around all wars, but especially Vietnam, some of the way things went, we've all heard about it.
Right.
This is a way to really say thank you and that we appreciate what you did and we honor you.
Right.
As a veterans agent, as we both are, we work in the delivery of a human service to the veterans and their families. This is one more way that we get to do that.
Right.
So you look at it as a privilege.
Oh,
Really?
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing. Thank
Absolutely.
you both for what you're doing, Bob Hogan and Lou Somalia.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank
Anything
you.
final you'd like our viewership to know? They're pretty good about doing what we ask them.
Be
So
there.
Yeah, be there.
yeah, don't miss
How
it.
about be there?
September 18th to the 22nd. No reason why you can't make some time. It's open 24/7. So if you work early, you work late, you can stop by the Sunnyside Cafe, which we talked to Collette Carbone earlier, have some breakfast, and then head on over and see the wall. So thanks so much for being with us today and for what you're doing. And thank you for watching. And just reminding you that the next time somebody asks you, where's Wilmington, you tell them right here and right here on WCTV. I'm Lisa Capalla. We'll see you again soon.